From the All Indiana Podcast Network.
The All Indiana Podcast Network.
This is the News 8 Daily 8.
Now the latest news.
Kylie Conway has all the news you need to know.
And more.
Please stand by.
Now, here's Wish TV's Kylie Conway.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is the News 8 Daily 8 for Wednesday, September 16th. Another beautiful day in store. There will be lots of sunshine with highs in the 80s. But again, the Gulf Coast has a very different story. Hurricane Sally strengthened overnight and made landfall as a Category 2 storm early this morning. Thousands, hundreds of thousands of people are without power. There's massive flooding. Like Randiala said this morning, the Gulf Coast area is seeing more rain from Sally than we here in Indiana typically get in an entire year on average. The effects of this storm are catastrophic. It's moving so slowly that the torrential downpours and high winds just aren't letting up. It's basically just moving 2-3 miles per hour, dumping torrential rains. In Orange Beach, Alabama, police warned early this morning that officers can't answer calls at this time because they're so busy. The city tweeted this morning that there are life-threatening conditions right now. And as I've mentioned previously on the Daily 8, Indiana Task Force 1 is down in the Gulf area. They're in Ponchatoula, Louisiana right now, but aren't getting a direct hit from the storm. So they're on standby, expecting to be sent to Mississippi to help there. Flooding is the big concern right now. The National Hurricane Center is using strong language, warning people in Alabama, Mississippi, and Florida that there is a threat to human life and catastrophic damage from flash floods. On the panhandle of Florida, Pensacola is dealing with 100-mile-per-hour winds and sheets of rain. Police there tweeted that the flooded roadways and hazardous debris have become too numerous to list. Reporters in those areas now say more than 300,000 utility customers in all three states are without power. And we have some breaking news. Eli Lilly and Co this morning shared the results from phase 2 of its COVID-19 antibody drug trial. According to the results, the drug can reduce hospitalizations by 72%. The data shows it worked best for patients who had mild or moderate symptoms. There were no side effects among the 400 trial participants. Back here in Indianapolis, IPS schools plan to start offering classroom learning again. First students are set to return October 5th. Students in grades pre-K through 3rd can only return by that date. 4th through 12th grade students will remain fully remote that week. The entire district will be on remote learning on October 12th. This was originally supposed to be fall break, but the district adjusted its calendar to make up for the 2-week delayed start to the year. By the week of October 19th, all students who choose in person will be invited back to their classrooms. Pre-K through 5th grade students have the option to come in person or remain fully remote. Those students can be back in their classrooms 5 days a week. Grades 6th through 12th will operate under a hybrid model. Students with last names A through M will be in the building Mondays and Tuesdays, and the second half of the alphabet Thursdays and Fridays. Wednesdays will be a designated virtual learning day for all students, while staff can clean to prepare for the second group. All IPS families will have to fill out a survey deciding if they want to stay in person or virtual and if they'll be using transportation. That survey has to be returned to schools by Monday next week. Students at Washington Township schools will have the option to go back in person next month as well. Starting October 12th, developmental preschool and grades K through 2nd will return to in-person learning full-time. Then starting October 19th, grades 3 through 5 will return to the classroom for full-time learning. Middle and high school students will be allowed to do hybrid learning. That will be 2 days a week in school, 3 days at home, just like IPS. The JEL Career Center will also have the hybrid learning beginning on October 19th. All students will still have the option of full-time virtual learning. School districts across Indiana are considering options for administering standardized tests during all this remote learning. Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos sent a letter to all states this month. It says schools are expected to administer tests like iLearn during the 2020-21 school year despite the pandemic. And right now, Indiana students are learning either in the classroom virtually or a mix of both. A spokesperson for the Indiana Department of Education says the districts are looking at a few options. One would be to set up a place where students can come take the test if they're learning virtually. The spokesperson also says that Indiana's DOE has not yet heard whether the assessment scores will be used to determine teacher ratings and raises.
Searching for a romantic summer getaway? Escape with Rich Girl Summer, the new Audible original from Lily Chu. The exquisitely talented Philippa Sue, returning to narrate her 5th Lily Chu title. This time, Philippa is joined by her real-life husband, Stephen Pasquale. Set in Toronto's wealthy cottage country, aka the Hamptons of Canada, Rich Girl Summer follows the story of Valerie, a down-on-her-luck event planner posing as a socialite's long-lost daughter, while piecing together the secrets surrounding a mysterious family and falling deeper and deeper in love with the impossibly hard-to-read and infuriatingly handsome family assistant, Nico. Caught between pretending to belong and unexpectedly finding where she truly fits in, Valerie learns her summer is about to get far more complicated than she ever planned. She's in over her head and head over heels. Listen to Rich Girl Summer now on Audible. Go to audible.com/richgirlsummer.
The free tutoring service out of IUPUI needs more volunteers to meet higher demand for help from students learning remotely. The service offers 1-hour virtual sessions. Organizers of the IU Student Success Course says sessions fill up fast. When they used to be booked a week or two in advance, the entire month filled at the beginning of September. Tutoring sessions are also available over the phone. A local faith leader says the 211 helpline has lost its local edge. The line is a free, confidential service that's designed to connect people with different resources, including help finding a job or getting mental health services. Reverend David Green started the Talk It Out, Don't Shoot It Out campaign. It encourages people to put down their guns and call 211 for help. The state took over the operation of 211 in July, with Family and Social Services Administration now overseeing it. Green says changes to the system mean people from other parts of the state are now answering some calls from Indianapolis. Green says that discourages calls that could help curb crime. A spokesperson for the FSSA released a statement to News 8 saying, to be clear, Indiana 211 is not designed to be a crisis response program. Rather, it is a statewide call service that makes referrals to existing community-based organizations. According to the FSSA, the transition is set to be complete on December 31st. And a group in Indianapolis is trying to unite the community and police. Your Life Matters Indy raised thousands of dollars for 5 billboards in hopes of reaching that goal. The billboards are just outside of downtown. 2 of the signs have a badge and say "Back the Blue" with "We're in this together" written next to it. The other 3 have a quote from Martin Luther King Jr. that says, "Judge me by the content of my character and not the color of my skin." Organizers say the billboards will be up for the rest of the month. New insight on the risk factors that could cause young people to die from coronavirus. A new report from the CDC looked at 121 deaths in people younger than 21 years old. Those account for less than 1% of all COVID-19 deaths. Still, here's what the report shows. Age is a factor, with 18 to 20-year-olds at more risk. Underlying health issues increase the likelihood of death. 75% of children and young adults who died had at least one underlying condition. 25% were previously healthy. Ethnic and racial minorities are at a greater risk too. Young Hispanic people made up 44% of deaths. 29% were Black children or young adults. A House committee report blames Boeing and the FAA for the deadly crashes involving the Boeing 737 MAX jet. 346 people were killed in 2 separate crashes involving that aircraft. A new 246-page report from the Transportation Committee found there were several flaws with the FAA's approval process for new jetliners. The report calls out Boeing for its lack of action, even though the company was aware of the jet's design flaws. The FAA and Boeing have said certification of the plane complied with all of the agency's regulations. Wildfire is threatening a landmark of science. The historic Mount Wilson Observatory in California is at risk. The U.S. Forest Service tweeted out that as of yesterday afternoon, the wildfire is within 500 feet of the observatory. It sits just northeast of Pasadena. The Forest Service also says firefighters have strategically fired and dropped water, creating a strong protection point for the observatory. The facility is evacuated. The Bobcat fire is only 6% contained. The U.S. Forest Service initially thought there would be full containment on October 15th. That is pushed back to October 30th. So far, 27 wildfires burning in California have engulfed more than 3 million acres of land. In Oregon, at least 27 wildfires have scorched more than 830,000 acres and more than 1,000 homes. The U.S. government is reviewing Oracle's trusted tech partnership with controversial and Chinese-owned short video app TikTok and could render a decision on whether to approve the deal as early as today. The deal is seen as controversial by some members of the Trump administration because it didn't fulfill the president's initial standard that any deal for TikTok's U.S. operations maintain no Chinese involvement. The Federal Trade Commission is preparing a possible antitrust lawsuit against Facebook Inc. that it could file by the end of the year. According to people familiar with the matter who spoke to the Wall Street Journal, this is a case that would challenge the company's dominant position in social media. They're looking to see if Facebook stifles competition. And to a bizarre story. Police in Georgia say a man who ran from a traffic stop left a winning lottery ticket behind. Deputies north of Atlanta say they pulled a car over because of a license plate violation, and a passenger got out and ran into some woods nearby. The man dropped a backpack. Investigators say inside that backpack there was a laptop, a small amount of drugs, and a lottery ticket worth $100. In a Facebook post, the sheriff's department congratulated the man, saying the ticket is waiting for him at the county jail. And as of this morning, we learned that he is now in custody facing charges. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway, online at wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV. But does the guy get to keep the lottery ticket?
Check out more podcasts from the All Indiana Podcast Network now at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.
allindianapodcastnetwork.com.